For more updates on this severe cyclonic storm Hudhud, it's over to my colleague T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad.
Thanks a lot, Amita. We'll bring you up to speed with all our reporters who are fanned out in different parts of Andhra Pradesh, in the north coastal districts as well as in Odisha, to bring you up to speed with what has been happening. But those are some of the visuals of the damage that has been caused in Visakhapatnam district in particular. What we have information at the moment is that though there is a lull now because the eye of the storm is crossing the coast at Visakhapatnam, over the next 1 hour or so, there will be heavy rainfall and higher wind speed, and people in Visakhapatnam district and Srikakulam are advised not to actually roam outdoors because there could be damage as a result of a lot of hoardings, banners and trees getting uprooted. But the good news is that by tomorrow morning, aircraft for rescue and relief can start flying as the weather will get better. But in the other states like Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, there could be flooding because of heavy rainfall as this cyclonic storm weakens into a deep depression and goes into the mainland of India. In fact, my colleague Ratnika Sharma, who is in Visakhapatnam, filed this report on the kind of damage that has been caused in the port city of Vizag.
I'm standing here in one of the major marketplaces inside the city of Visakhapatnam, and Cyclone Hudhud is literally wreaking havoc inside the city of Visakhapatnam. The city is falling apart like house of cards. As you can see, telephone poles, electric poles just falling. Trees have been uprooted. All the roads are blocked. Corrugated tin roof is flying around like they're paper. And as you can see, a lot of glass also breaking out of buildings. People have been stranded in a lot of places. However, the collector of Visakhapatnam has advised people not to move out of their houses because the roads are blocked and the clearance will happen only after 6 p.m. So people, residents of Visakhapatnam and nearby areas are advised really not to move out of the house because as you can see, a lot of destruction happening inside the city. Telephone poles are just falling, trees are falling, also vehicles also which are actually stationary on the road are just moving with the kind of force that the wind really, the kind of speed that the wind is blowing with. With camera person Manohar Reddy, Ratnika Sharma in Visakhapatnam for Headlines Today.
So far, the maximum sustained wind which has been reported is ranging between 170 to 180 km per hour, gusting up to 195 km per hour. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is being reported along the coast. And presently, since eye is crossing, there is not much of rainfall. But in an hour or so, the reverse wind flow will be experienced by the city, which will again have a very great damage potential.
All preparations have been made in the districts to counter the effects of the cyclone and the heavy rainfall that will follow the cyclone. Also, as per the latest information received, 67,752 people have been evacuated in Gajpati, Ganjam, Koraput, Raigada, Malkangiri, Puri, Kendrapada and Khurda districts to 604 safe shelters. More evacuation is likely this morning. We are monitoring the situation and taking all precautions that are possible.
That was the Chief Minister of Odisha, Naveen Patnaik, actually briefing the press on what is the situation on the ground as far as the coastal state of Odisha is concerned. These pictures coming to you from Visakhapatnam. Let us cut across to my colleagues who are there on the ground. Manogya Loiwal in Gopalpur. Jaskira Singh Bawa joins me from the IND Center in New Delhi. Also, Jugal Purohit and Ratnika Sharma from Visakhapatnam, which has really bore the brunt of this cyclone Hudhud as it actually crosses the coast near the port city. Ratnika, if I may come to you first, you had a lot of people around you. What is the sense among the locals? Because many of them are actually coming out, venturing out, thinking that the worst is over, perhaps not knowing that this is only the calm before the storm. There will be another round of heavy rainfall and wind speed, accompanying wind speed. So what is the sense that you're getting from the locals on what they see is the sight around them in Visakhapatnam?
Oh, well, Sudhir, this kind of storm, this kind of cyclone, people of Vizag had not really expected that it would hit Vizag so severely, where, you know, the Vizag would just fall apart like a house of cards. If I may ask you, Vizag has never seen something like this kind of a cyclone. What's the kind of your apprehension that you're expecting? Because now, once the cyclone recedes, there'll be more, you know, severe storm and cyclone along with it.
First of all, we are very fearful since night because we have never expected up. We all just planning. We all are just trying to get ourselves safe and secure. And I'm seeing on the roadsides like lots of hoarding and fall down. I just feel that all people are safe, and I'm just praying that the disaster should come to an end.
And if I may also ask you again, you know, Vizag, something like this. None of us had expected, you know, that so much destruction would really come upon Visakhapatnam. What have you been seeing since morning?
Hi Ratnika. Continuing for past 2 days. Everyone is suffering due to this cyclone, and the people are not able to come out. All roads are blocked. Not able to move here and there due to this water floating, and many of the houses' roofs are gone. People are not able to come out, not able to.
Storm which the
Right. So the main point to note at this point in time is that the worst is not yet over. In many senses, it is the calm before the storm. There would be another spell of heavy rainfall with strong winds taking place in the 3 north coastal districts of Andhra Pradesh, especially Visakhapatnam. So people are advised to stay indoors and not really to venture outdoors, thinking that the rainfall and the cyclone has passed over. As we speak, cyclone Hudhud is still passing the Indian coast near Visakhapatnam. Let me cut across to my colleague Jugal Purohit, who is live with us from Visakhapatnam. Jugal, the last time we spoke, you were talking about the preparations, the extensive preparations that are actually been done by the NDRF, by the Navy, by the district administration of the Andhra Pradesh government. Would you say now that perhaps the best efforts of these 3 put together, a well-coordinated team effort, has actually paid off? Because of course, we have heard of those 2 unfortunate deaths taking place in Visakhapatnam, but loss to human life, at least from what we know at the moment, has been largely minimized.
Absolutely, Sudhir. In fact, before I answer your question, I would like to inform our viewers that the portion which we've been speaking about for a while, the lull before the storm, seems to have actually gotten over. Because after there being sunshine and there being no rain for almost 45 to 50 minutes, that phase seems to be getting over now. The sea has picked up in its roughness. Rain has again started. The winds are blowing fast. In fact, just a short while back, and I wish I could have shown it to you, but the police was present in large numbers, and they had actually cleared the entire area, yelling at people, in a sense also threatening them with lathis. People cleared the area, but they're back again as the police went on to further areas. So it does seem that the second and the last portion of the cyclone is now very, very close to us, if not actually making its side of the landfall. So things have changed.
Right.
That's what we can say. Of course, the scientists are better placed to talk about it. But yes, things have changed. Things have picked up pace. And answering your question, Sudhir, the situation that we are seeing in front of us is such that till the time the actual, second phase, the heavy downpour, the flooding, all of it gets actually done with, it's too early to, say anything about what the administration has managed or what it hasn't, because many a times, and we've seen it in the past as well, deaths often occur not because of the main, burst of the storm, but because of flooding, because of electricity, poles falling on people,
Absolutely.
Walls collapsing on houses after the rain. So all of it will be will have to be actually weighted on and then taken a final call
Right.
on. But yes, of course. One must mention that given how well our systems have evolved vis-a-vis the IMD, vis-a-vis the INCOIS where you are, and vis-a-vis the armed forces and the coordination between the center and state, of course there is a sense of security among people that
Yes.
yes, we are aware, yes, we were preparing for it, and yes, if something happens, we will be taken care of. That's the confidence I sense among people. But yes, of course, it doesn't still mean that
Right,
the people
Jugal.
can be reckless, because now things are changing, things are picking up pace. Sudhir, as I speak, I'm seeing a convoy of policemen arriving, and they are actually trying to clear the area. I would be able to show you the visuals in the next 2 to 3 minutes. But as I was just narrating, that things are picking up. And I believe the sense I get is that the police is trying to clear the area so that the wind which is picking up, the seas which are getting rough, do not damage people or do not cause unnecessary harm or loss of life.
Right, Jugal. In fact, the news that we are getting from Jugal, as he was reporting, that it's once again started raining there. The police trying to ensure that people do not venture outdoors in Vizag, because this will be the next spell of heavy rainfall, as the Met Director was also predicting. Jaskirat Singh Bawa joins me from the IMD office there in New Delhi. One of the important points, Jaskirat, that the Met Director said was the adverse impact on agriculture. Now, the area that has got affected is the delta area of Andhra Pradesh. The two Godavari districts of East and West Godavari are likely to bear the brunt of flooding, of heavy rainfall. What's the sense that you get, that are these two states in for huge damage as far as the agriculture sector is concerned?
Well, the IMD feels that whatever damage takes place, it is only these 6 hours between noon and 6 p.m. that the actual damage will take place in, and it is only after that that we'll get a proper assessment as to the extent of the damage. They are hoping, of course, hoping against hope, that the damage is not as much as they are actually estimating it to be. They, of course, expect that the river basins over there will swell up a little bit because of the increase in the rainfall. And the rainfall is not just going to increase in that specific area, it's actually going to move upwards of north going forward after these 6 hours are over. We are expecting this rainfall to even spread across to Orissa, West Bengal, parts of Jharkhand and Bihar, and western Uttar Pradesh. So we will see the rainfall, and this is going to be a lot of rainfall which will be moving up north. But when you're talking about the specific areas that you refer to, it is these 6 hours that are going to be very crucial. Even though the eye of the storm may have passed over from Vizag, the IMD director had emphasized that this, the very first hour of the landfall is when there is a reverse sweep that takes place.
Jaskirat, if you can ask your camera person also to pan and show us the kind of activity that is taking place at the IMD center behind you.
Absolutely. I'll have my camera person Rajesh just show you what is exactly going on over here. Behind this, on this computer screen, you can see a satellite imagery of the cyclone in real time. This is almost in real time, which is it's taking place. But behind that, you can see the team which are working continuously updating. There are actually a nerve center over here which is updating information from their sensors and their stations from across the country, which are compiling these reports which have been compiled over here. Now, there are other, of course, screens over here and people who are functioning, who are preparing the report. But primarily, the IMD feels that their job was in the forecasting, their job was in warning or giving a heads up, and that part more or less is over. They are, in fact, feeling and very confident of the fact that they were able to predict to a very, very close margin of error as to when the cyclone should be expected for landfall.
Right, Manoge Loiwal, who is there with us from Gopalpur in Orissa. There we heard the Orissa Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik must have heaved a sigh of relief that his state did not bear the brunt of cyclone Hudhud. But what is really the weather like now? Is it still raining there in Gopalpur like it has started raining in Visakhapatnam? And by what time would the district administration actually allow many of those people to return to their homes which are very close to the coast?
Well, there are two aspects to it. It is not raining as of now. It has been raining heavily since yesterday, and there has been no power supply in the area. They have cut it off, keeping in mind that it would be very difficult for them to avoid any kind of mishap that might happen due to the electricity supply. But beyond that, the district administration is also keeping in mind that they have been pacified to the extent that the winds haven't been the way it was expected to be. It was around 110 km per hour. They have faced fill-in last year, which is 210 km per hour. That is almost 100 km more than what they're seeing this year. And with all that, they also prepared. If you can show you behind me, the sea that has been so stormy since yesterday has been changing phases, both in past few hours. The whole sea beach has been vacated completely to ensure that there is no one around. There were a lot of adventurous people who had come in the morning. Some of them were fishermen who are used to facing the sea, but the other were residents who were localites here, who had come to stand here and have a look on what was happening exactly. They thought that they had faced failure, so they could dare Hudhud also this time. But beyond all this, the district administration is preparing up for ensuring that the roads are cleared, because we are getting reports that there are a lot of places in Kandhamal and also in areas like Gajapati where trees have fallen, and because of that there have been road traffic that is being disrupted, and that is expected to be cleared only once the cyclone passes away completely, which would take another few hours.
Right.